together we shape a brighter future for our employees, organizations, and community around so that we thrive together. With this leadership mantra, we are honored to have Mr. Pradeep Chavda among us. Jai Hind and a very good afternoon to our respected guest, Mr. Pradeep Chavda, our MD, Dr. Jai Singh, all the faculty members and students of IIEBM. I, Pooja Chawla, MC for today's session, would like to welcome you all to this session. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our guest, Mr. Pradeep Chavda. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Mr. Pradeep Chavda is the Chief Human Resource Officer Transformation Head and Board of Directors member at Sodexo India Services Private Limited. He possesses extensive experience in diverse domains such as MNCs, government bodies, and large global technology-driven enterprises. With over 23 years of experience, he has overseen the management of a workforce exceeding 85,000 employees across both national and international sectors like telecom, technology, digital banking, and food industry. His aim was to make the company better using technology. Thus, he created a special app called Access. This app makes it simple for the employees to do everything related to their work, as it brings together all the employees, leaders, and even past employees in a team. This app is being used in over 80 countries, starting from India. Notably, he earned the APAC Sodexo Best Business Innovation Award for introducing the Talent Stock Exchange. His contributions also led to nominations for the Sodexo Global Award for the Micro-Learning Initiative and recognition as one of India's top 20 most impactful micro-learning leaders, achieved by deploying AI-powered micro-learning tools for Sodexo India. His dedication to diversity and inclusion initiatives resulted in consecutive prestigious awards from the Bureau Veritas, Will, and Jobs for her. Without any further delay, I would now like to request Mr. Pradeep Chavda to address the young minds with his words of wisdom.
Good afternoon, everyone. And this is a post-lunch session, so I'll try my best to keep you all engaged. And also, one of my purposes is to share, my own journey. How have I grown in my professional career, starting from, me being a management graduate in my college, and then how I decided to shape up my career for future, which made me to reach to this level. And it's always about, and then everyone needs one inspiration actually, or one kind of a turning point. And once you take the right turning point, even whatever past career, suppose you were very average in your college or something else, you can really do wonderful in your life. It's about just giving your best in that one particular time, and it's never late. And these are all personal experiences I had from the beginning. Let me just start first of all, while the introduction spoke about my career with Sodexo and other things. So I'll also talk about my own company today in the presentation, just to relate some of the leadership qualities, competencies one should really demonstrate as a future leader, which you all are aspiring to become, and you will all join the corporate world or you will start your own entrepreneur journey. But you need to have certain competence and leadership qualities which we should possess or which should develop so that you are successful in future. Let me tell you from the beginning, I hail from a place in Gujarat called Rajkot, so I'm a Gujarati by background. And from the childhood only, I wanted to go into army, okay. And I know the institute was started by an army personnel. So I started to prepare myself at the age of 6. So I ventured into swimming, and my dad told me that yes, you need to have a great scores to get into the CDS. Anyone has appeared for CDS here? Combined Defense Service? Yeah, few of you. So NDA, CDS, these are the ways you can go into army directly into officer cadre. So then my dad told me that if you have a good sports and some nice healthy background, then you will be preferred more. So I opted for swimming as my profession, And from the age of 6 I started swimming, so I managed to swim and represent India also. In London, actually I was just 12 years old when I represented India in London, and then Australia for a long swim. So it opened up my horizon to see the world, because when you go out, when you travel, you learn a lot. And most of the young people, I always tell them that even if you have less money, try to travel, try to explore the world. If not the world, then at least India. Don't stick to your desk and don't stick to your bed to just sleep, but explore places, explore different culture, and because that makes you a holistic professional in your life. So from the beginning only, I started exploring, meeting people, culture. So you become less hesitant in your normal professional world to interact with anyone. From an introvert, you started becoming an extrovert and everything. Yeah, but so failure also is an important part of the life. So if somebody has anyone failed here, okay, yeah, so many people failed here. So most of the organizations these days are focusing on failures rather than being successful, because being successful is very obvious. People are talking about, because failure teaches you to bounce back. I don't know, but only thing is that you need to learn from the failure and bounce back. That is something, because a lot of people, they fail but they don't learn out of it, and then they don't want to bounce back. So yeah, I wanted to go into defense, so I gave an exam during graduation for CDS. I cleared the exam because I prepared for MBA, CDS, and everything together. And during the SSB interview, if two of you has appeared for that, I was rejected. I was told that I'm a Gujarati, and I will take early retirement and all those things. There are fewer Gujaratis in uh, in army and everything. So I tried my best to give them, because I told them that I'm trying since the age of 6 actually, and this is my final this thing. So, but unfortunately, I couldn't make it, and I was very clear I am not going to waste my year, 1 year. So I parallelly gave exam for GPSCs. It's equivalent to little lesser than UPSC, so Gujarat Service Public Commission. And I was deputy superintendent of police at the age of 21. Okay, and I was an IPS officer at that point of time. Within shorter period of time, I figured out that that's not the place where I belong to, and then I ventured into my management. So I did my management from Baroda. Later, I studied in Spain and Stanford. So it's important that you learn from what happens in past, and then you move forward in your life. And while you prepare yourself along for something, and if you don't get it, it's okay. There is always a better and even a brighter way to look for something. And even if you get something, but where your heart and mind is not there, you need to focus on future. So during my presentation, I'll talk some of the elements about what can make you or break you in your career in future, what mistakes, what are the steps you can take so that you are a little better off as compared to others. And one has to never get disheartened, one has to never give up, because it's never late to start afresh. Also, some of you might be an average student in your college, or some of you would be completely below average, backbencher, or some of you must be very superlative in the college. Later on, when you are going to the corporate world, the matter of the fact is that how best you have given in various facets of your life, including your college, including your internship, including many other things, and I will talk about it. So it's not about just excelling into one particular area, but also give your best into multiple areas. Uh, I'll share some of my experiences when I was management graduate like you. So I left my police services, and I joined the HR, human resources. I wanted to do from beginning only. I wanted to do into HR. So I joined my management college in the human resources. So from the beginning only, I decided that I will be the first person to get a job. So number one is deciding in your life what you want is very, very important. Example, I want to go to Bombay. If I decide that, then I will book my tickets, or I will book a cab, I will pack my bags, I will decide a date, and then I will reach there. So whenever you decide what you want to achieve, you need to have a goal in your mind. If I don't know where am I going, I'm not going to pack my bags, I'm not going to book any tickets anywhere. So number one was very important, that how to set a goal for yourself. And if you set a goal, you are 100% going to achieve. Example, you don't have money to go to Bombay. Can you walk? You might reach in 3 days, 2 days to Bombay. But if you are going to be here in this place, you will never reach there. So Bombay is, I'm just giving an anecdotal example, that if you want to reach somewhere, you start taking some steps towards that. So I wanted to crack the first job. Unfortunately, fortunately, when I did my when I did my graduation, I topped the university, and when I appeared for my management, almost 3 lakh students appeared for that exam, and 40 got shortlisted. So when I entered into the campus, I figured out that I am the average. Even I was the best in my graduation. And then I figured out that if I'm going to be an average, and there are a lot of better people, how am I going to get first job in this campus? Because job was something which was very critical, and I was not sure whether I'll start my business, because a lot of you may not aim to become a employee. But since I did my employee journey, but during employee journey also you can do entrepreneurship. Actually, you can be innovative, you can be transformative, and I'll talk about that a little later. So during the graduation, I went there. It was a shocker to me that many of them are wonderful and far more better than me. Then how am I going to prepare myself for that? So I started focusing a lot on learning skills along the side of my concept and knowledge, which is important. Some of you might have a perception that studies and knowledge and theory is not important. The only thing practical is important. The issue with that approach is that, suppose if you don't know the shape of the snake, and you don't know whether this snake is poisonous or it is a normal snake, or whether you don't know whether it is a snake or it's a rope, because you have not acquired the knowledge or the information about that particular species, you might start ending up playing with that species, and then you might have a issue. Or you will kill that snake, but there is a possibility that almost 90% of the snake, they are non-poisonous, and you will unnecessarily kill somebody. So the knowledge is something which is very crucial. So never ever underestimate the knowledge, but the knowledge in application is something which you need to figure out. So what I did most of the time, I kept myself too much engrossed into understanding the concept and many other things. Giving you an example, if you have to introduce any change in your future organization, with your own experiences, you may not be able to follow the quarters principle of change management. There are 13 steps you need to take before you introduce any change. Example, you want to digitize your entire organization, you need to take those 13 steps, and if you take those 13 steps, your change management is guaranteed successful. But some of you might feel that, okay, I need to just have a practical knowledge, skill base, theories are not important. Then the possibility with a possible outcome of that, the negative outcome of that, could be that your decisions will be purely based on your experiences. The issue with that is that you have fewer experiences in your life. You don't know the world, you don't know about, so you just have 10% of your experience, and you think that based on that 10% knowledge, you are going to take some big decisions and you will fail. So it's very, very important to have the knowledge domain tested. So I kept focused, I was very focused on my study. I was a little naughty also when we were, studying, and we were all, like all of you are staying in hostel, right? So I was also staying in a hostel. I never lost election, by the way, just to make it a little more funny to interact. So I never lost election in my hostel. So the year one came, I told my team that, we have to win the election, six, seven of us. I told we will have the right kind of positions. So you need to start doing the campaign, and we are going to win the elections and everything. So between us, we were also good in studies. So we used to prepare even more harder than our professors when their lectures were going to be there in next day. And we were super prepared, and half of us used to be for that particular topic, and half of us used to be against the topic, and we were thoroughly prepared, more prepared than our professors. And then the class used to happen, and then half of us will start convincing the professor that, okay, this is the way we are going to, I think the topic should be driven on this particular manner. The moment we figured out that the professor is strongly agreeing with that particular 2-3 people, immediately the other part of us, we used to get activated, and we used to say that, no, you are teaching us a wrong thing, actually, and these are the things, these are the white papers, these are the Harvard Business Publication, and whatever you are teaching is 20 years old, 30 years old, blah blah blah. And then still the professor used to be that, okay, since I have spoken half of my lecture onto the positive part of it, they used to maintain, but then my friends used to switch their ground towards the other side. And then we used to have a nice and yeah, we used to really give a tough time to our professor. But by the way, while that was a kind of a way you learn and do things in a manner where the little bit of fun on life is also there, but that actually gave us a strong foundation of what you need to do. So unless you don't have the knowledge of it, suppose you don't know the 7 principles of change management, or 7 principle of implementing any new process or new policy in the organization, or if you want to transform the organization, you don't know certain processes, then you will end up implementing something which is not the right process. Example, you go to the doctor. The doctor will he will say that, okay, let's lie down. He will check the heartbeat, blood pressure, everything. So there is a thorough process they follow, and then they tell you, okay, this is the medicine to be given. And suppose you go to another doctor which just sees your face and you tell your story, and then they give you the medicine. I think the approach of a methodical and process oriented has, in the management, it has a lot of long term benefit. So that's why one of the area which I focused on is getting a lot of strong knowledge domain. The second thing I did is a lot of internship actually. I didn't stick to, and my internship is very, very serious. I didn't go for the topic which are very usual topic. Everyone took it. I cannot create a differentiator because I knew that I have to get the first job. And there are all of them, there are 10 or 12, 15 of them, they are better than me because the batch was just 40 people batch. So I started meeting a lot of HR guys, HR leaders. Many of them used to humiliate me that you don't know anything, you have no idea about, you will never get a job. I kept on meeting many of them. I kept on getting rejections. I kept on getting humiliated by my professors, by my own friends, some of the competitors within the and some of the HR guys. So in that process, me and one of my friend, we are still friend. In fact, just 5 minutes back, he gave me a call. He's in UK now. We constantly met more than 40, 50 professionals in our life in that 1 year, 1.5 year time. And we constantly, and we used to interview each other. So we figured out that from academic point of view, even if we are studying, because we used to just sleep for 3, 4, 5 hours in those 2 years because it was very difficult course. And we figured out that even if we are sleeping like we are studying like hell, we are not making the best cut in the exams because everyone has their own memory. they can, like I have a friend who can shake hand with all of you and he will remember everyone's name even after 1 year just by one time shaking hand with you. So people have memories, and then people have people are like you and me, normal people. Maybe I'll forget something tomorrow or day after tomorrow only, even if I've read something. And I used to have the formulas to prepare, but I used to make stories about, example, I used to study labor laws and I used to have stories around labor laws. So at least I remember the story rather than the labor law, and at least I know the main headings and I can write something into it. I'm sure you will have your own ways of learning. So I realized that we need to work upon the interviewing skills, and this guy used to interview me, I used to interview him. We used to constantly challenge each other. We used to record our voice, see to it how are we faring and everything, and we gave our best, and we got the best in class internship also. For example, my own niece is there, she is just in graduation. She did her internship with Google, and then the second internship with Mondelez. So best in class, Sodexo, my own company. So you need to really plan your future in a proper manner. You can't plan it something as it comes actually. And sometimes we feel that if I want to do an internship, my management college will actually provide me the platform. Nobody is going to provide you the platform. If they provide you the platform, it's wonderful. You need to create your own platform. Have you taken an effort of maybe 30 minutes every day to reach out to the right stakeholder to get the best in class internship for your life? Because you're going to your resume, which is going to be there in the second year when you will start getting the interview, they will see your resume, where have you worked with. And if you worked with Santa Kumari and Sons or something, then it will be, it can be a question mark unless the project has been really, really great actually. And I did take one of the risk. I did one of my internship in a limestone quarry actually. So I met almost 100 plus workers and I did a study of limestone quarry. But then I presented my report to the government of India in terms of, so what used to happen in limestone quarries, the workers used to die after working in limestone quarry after 5, 6 years, 7 years. And most of them, they started to have the issues of coughing and those kind of things, and they were all treated for tuberculosis because the coughing and spitting and all those things have those symptoms are of tuberculosis. But if the doctor has time and doctor would have asked that what is your occupational history, then they figured out that they are supposed to be treated for silicosis and not tuberculosis. And once you are treated for silicosis, then you are fully recovered, even if you have worked into mines or quarries or something. So I presented that report. So anything which you do, any of your internship or project you are going to do, it's important that you do it with a right intent rather than a tick mark exercise, because you can get a project on ChatGPT immediately in 2 to 3 minutes, and you are going to probably complete that formalities as a tick mark. But are you going to learn and you're going to make it or break it is something in your hand. And yes, when the first campus came, because we had so much of preparation, like we had given almost 100 interviews and each other we had interviewed more than 100 times. The first company came, I got shortlisted in Unilever. The second company came, my friend got shortlisted, and we both were B plus or something. We were not A plus or something. So you need to be really focused on your strength. And if your strength is something else and may not be the mugging up the entire theories or something, then you need to play on your strength. Because the problem with the playing on with your weakness, I'll give you one example, that if suppose there is a kid who is very good in maybe sports, okay, and very average in maths. If you train the kid into maths very daily on a humongous manner, that person will become average in maths and average in sports also, because they didn't pursue anything seriously. So I always tell most of the management students like you that play with your strength actually, because your strength is something, if you're going to excel into, like Usain Bolt is there. If you ask Usain Bolt, who is the fastest runner, if you ask him to talk in a Sanskrit language or do crack a math course, he is a Olympic winner, and he focused on running, and then he has excelled into it. So you don't have to excel into something which you are not great at. So whatever is your strength is something you need to focus on rather than focusing on your weakness. And I have personally felt that if you focus on your strength, you are going to crack in future. Okay, and that's the way the entire journey of mine started. And then later on also in my future career also, I ensured that I stick with the best in class companies. Even if I got double, triple the salary offer, I never changed my job. My first company, second was Tata's, third was SR. I was 5 years international in Copenhagen, Norway, New York, 6 years, and then I came back, and again Airtel, which is number one brand, and then Sodexo, which is India's number one company to work with. So it's important that you stick to the right kind of environment. The friends you make or the companies you choose to work with, everything matters, and to be successful in future. And these are some of the initial thoughts I'll share with you, that how I tried. And yes, you need to be really enjoying, and see, all of you, I'm seeing you from quite some time, we barely smile. Average Indians, we don't smile more than 18 times in a day. Can you imagine this? The specially able people with mental retardation, they smile more than 600 times in a day. Okay, so we are the average. The problem with the average, us and the young generation and us also, is that we are not happy. So it's important to be happy. People like who are happy, who are fun loving, who enjoy the things and everything. So keep that enjoyment element also into place. See, when we talk about us as an individual and us as future leader, we are supposed to drive organization. And organization is like family. And organization has its own culture, and organization has its own values. So has anyone defined your own value system? What are the 3 values of yours? So we spoke about, do we have a goal, clear-cut goal or not, so that you know what are the various steps you are going to take and what are the values you are going to follow. So most organizations, while the organizations are focusing on transformation, digitization, investing into various, I'm just giving example of Sodexo values, but nothing to do with any of your individual values. But what I'm trying to say is, you need to understand yourself better. You need to have your values defined. And what are your values? Values are non-negotiable. Example, integrity could be one of the value as a person. Okay. So if you don't have any family which doesn't have the value system, the family shatters. Any organization which doesn't have a value system, the organization shatters. That's the reason most companies have vision statements and value statements, and that's the reason all individual like you need to have the right kind of value system. The other thing is that we need to strongly write down our beliefs also. Like in my own company, we have these 4-5 belief systems. Example, respect for people. So we are a people company. It's a 60,000 people in our organization. Even there are a lot of places we have in organization, the managers their behavior is like a parenting behavior. They loudly tell you, don't do this, do this, and directional kind of a nature. Those kind of leaders are not going to be the future leader. The leaders which are going to work in a collaborative manner, leaders which are going to work in a transformational manner as a team person, are going to be the future leader. And respect for individual is going to be very, very crucial. Example, in my own company, one abusive word to any employee, even if you're a CEO of a company, you're out of the organization. I have almost 10 trans people working into my HR department, transgenders. And how do we respect transgender? How do we respect women employees? 56% of our employees are women employees in our company. So if you have an attitude as a leader that, oh, women are supposed to do a X job only and not Y job, in Sodexo you will be tata bye bye, because you cannot be gender biased. You cannot talk anything negative about a particular gender, particular caste, particular religion, because these are our individual preferences. It has nothing to do with organizational elements. So your belief systems have to be very, very strong at this juncture, and you need to respect everyone's individuality. And I'll tell you who are the future leaders and I'll talk about the heroism a little later. So the past era, maybe 10 years, 15 years back, the leaders or the CEOs were actually like heroes of the organization. Okay, they are like the avengers of the organization, that if they are there, the organizations are succeeding, they are doing, and everything is done by them because they can transform the things well. But in today's knowledge era, where the knowledge is just 5 seconds away, suppose if I want to put something on ChatGPT, within a second I'll get the knowledge. So knowledge is getting consolidated at technology level, and now individual values are more and more important. No more the leaders who are going to be rude, who are disrespectful, or who are following the heroism, the parentism kind of an approach, are going to be successful in future. Nowadays, as on today I speak, the leaders which are humble, leaders which are empathetic, leaders which are respecting, leaders who believe in team spirit, are the leaders who are getting accepted in their organization. You know, half of my batchmates are jobless right now. Some of them were very good, excellent, better than me. Half of them are jobless because they reached to the glass ceiling and they could not transform themselves. They could not continuously upgrade themselves. Like I spend almost 1.5 hours every day to study and learn something new. Additionally, the more you go on the hierarchy up, the more humble and respectable you start becoming. And most companies have started acknowledging leaders. And today's leaders are not the knowledgeable leaders. Today's leader who can coordinate and who can groom people well, who can keep everyone together, who treats people with respect. There is a good culture around the organization. And these are the things which is looked into today's leader. Let me quickly talk to you about my own company. I know we are 49,000 people. Most of us, they know us from the coupon business, Sodexo coupon. But that's our B2C brand, just 4% of our business. We are India's largest food manufacturing service provider, and we run large size cafeterias, mega kitchens, and most of the companies, large companies are managed by us, whether it is Google, Infosys, Wipro, TCS, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, you name a hospital, or most of the floating vessels around India is managed by Sodexo. We run mega kitchens which are as big as the size of a football ground, and and run the food business there. Most of the barges, rigs which are floating around Indian Ocean are managed by us from a food and a facility management service point of view. And we are India's largest food service company. We completed 25 years in the organization in India, and globally we are completing 50 plus years. And there are some of the elements I would like to talk about is, which, and then I'll probably play a small video about how the future organizations are transforming. Number one, as a leader in future, you need to navigate during the uncertainty and complexities. Example, COVID-19 crisis came in. So most of us and most of the companies were actually worried about removing the employees. There was a lot of cost pressure and all those things were coming. So Sodexo as an organization, we saw this as an opportunity, and we focused on generating employment who have lost the job, for people who have lost the job. And we launched a portal called Access Jobs, and during the pandemic time we managed to give 15,000 jobs to people who lost their jobs into various organized sectors. So, as a future leader, all of you have an option to either thrive in the adversities, or you have an option to actually get saddened that a lot of people lost job and how to do and what to do about it. But if you see opportunity in the adversities, or if you see opportunities in the uncertainties, then you are going to transform the way you are working, and then you will have always a great place. If you are going to be an entrepreneur or you are going to be a person working in an organization, you will certainly have a great place to work, and you will never have any challenges in future. Adapting to the changing business cycles. A lot of transformation is happening today. Most of the organizations are focusing on implementing AI, machine learning into their businesses. Example, in Sodexo, if you in the most of the ingredients available, so in your house, suppose you can use this AI tool also, it's available. So if you have 5-6 ingredients and you put into the AI tool and you decide that I want to make a Chinese recipe out of it, the tool automatically gives you 5 recipes of Chinese recipes which can be made out of those 5-6 ingredients. Similarly, in India, example, we have more than 1800 chefs in our company, and most of the billionaire houses are also managed, many of the billionaire houses are also managed by Sodexo. So the innovation in food is going to be very, very crucial, and we use a tool which is called Drive, wherein all the ingredients which are used, the raw material planning, and how are we going to effectively use, what are the recipes, how to standardize the recipes, everything can be completely digitally imbibed into it. You can put it into it, and then you can actually do your business planning. So most of the companies have started using one or other digital tool and transforming the way they are operating the business. HR is getting transformed. Now most of the HR tools are supported and backed by AI tools, machine learning. Like we got recently a very unique challenge. Like most of the students or most of the candidates, they see a job posting of Sodexo or some other company, and then they exactly match the job description with their resumes, and they apply for the job. So we figured out that most of the candidates, most of the profiles which we get are exactly matched to our requirement. So as a HR department, we are also impacted that how do we select the best in class person, because when the candidate comes for the interview, they don't have those capabilities matching to their matching to the job profile. So there are ways the technology is impacting potential candidates, and there are ways the technology is impacting the HR leaders also. And we need to define a strategy, we need to have a strong mechanism to ensure that the right candidates get shortlisted for the organization and the right matches look into. Resilience is something which is important, which is ensuring that the culture which you are going to be the future leader of the organization, ensuring that your mental health is good, you focus on the mental health of other people, you have the right culture in the organization. So how are you focusing on building the right culture in the organization is also going to be important. During the food as an industry, the organized food is just 4% of the market potential. So we are just all the organized food manufacturers, we are just 4% of the market. It means that only 4% of Indians are having food outside. Almost 96% of the Indian are eating home food. In Singapore, almost 44% of the people, they eat outside food. So in India, food is a huge business in future, because right now all of us are just scratching the surfaces. And most of us, are actually looking at how do we use a competitive advantage in terms of this highly potential industry, and how do we grow. And all of you who are right now aiming to become a future professionals, either in your professional journey or your individual, you all are sitting on a huge opportunity mine. And if you are going to be taking advantage in this disruptive environment through right kind of innovation, through right kind of knowledge base, through right kind of strategy, you are going to be the future leader. Just giving one example, and I will ask the person to play the video, which is on the right hand side. So since the environment, since the organizations and the employees, there is a huge retention is becoming a huge focus. Most of the companies are trying to create an environment in the organization which are wellness friendly, which has best in class technology into it, like, and which has best in class office infrastructure, so that employees thrive in the environment which they are into. So let me just share a presentation, a video which talks about how the Sodexo offices are made and what are the various technology and what are the various means which we use to create a transformative workforce. So the office infrastructure which we have created is such an advanced, and employees are expecting such a high level of office infrastructure so that they feel cared, the wellness element is there, the oxygen they breathe in the office, the lights they have in the office. Example, the very, very bright light impact your eyes actually negatively. To what kind of workstations? So most of our workstations are actually ergonomically designed. So you can stand and work for some of the time, then you can actually mechanically put it down and you can work. So various these kind of facilities and infrastructures are provided. The food we offer, the coffee which we offer in our company, various of those kind of things are minutely taken care by organization. Why they are doing it? Because in this entire disruptive environment, we want people to be engaged, we want people to be retained, and organizations are giving their best in doing those things. And you as a future leader would be facing challenges about retaining employees, and you need to know various means and ways to probably retain. And that's the reason we are a great place to work certified among the top 15 companies in India. There are some other elements of leadership also, but I will not touch upon it. Videos are not getting played, but I want to make it a little more interactive. If you have some questions, and I can probably answer into it. Looking from my own past experience, how have I navigated my own career, and just to start with one anecdote, how I probably entered into an international career. So I always wanted to go and work internationally. Like, how many of you want to work internationally? Anyone? See, so many people, okay. But when you are in the organization and when you try to look for international job, they will say you have no experience of working in globally, right? Example, I was in HR. So I was told that, you don't know the labor laws of other countries. I will not be able to place you international. So I was after my boss that, I need to be placed. I need an international assignment. Finally, after a lot of persuasion, I was told that there is a job assignment in Congo actually. So I Googled about Congo. I saw that there is a kind of a civil war going on, or some issues was going on in the Congo. And then it is worse than India actually. But I said, okay, let me taste this risk. So a calculated risk taking is very, very important. Many of you, even today also, would say, no, I will work only in Bombay, or I will not work in Pune. I want to work only in Pune. I will not work in Chennai or something. So if you are really looking for a great career and the right kind of companies, I would say don't restrict yourself to a particular location, because it can really cause, you need to be very sure you're looking for a great career, great job, or you're looking for a great location, your choice. I went to Congo. Fortunately, I did well there. From Congo, they moved me to a little better country called Kenya. From Kenya, I managed to go to, Copenhagen, then Norway, and then New York. So what happens that when you try, when you explore something, you will always, get opportunities opening up in the future path. So it's very important that in your life you take the right kind of decision, you take the right kind of risk, calculated risk, so that you can grow and you can work wonderfully. The second thing is about constant learning. So don't feel that okay, you have done your management here, you are not going to learn anything. You will just start minting, or kind of minting money and doing nothing. But it will be very soon you will realize that if you're not upgrading yourself, younger generation which are coming later than you, will challenge you, and some of you will even struggle to survive for 5 years, 6 years in the career of in the management career, because you have not constantly upgraded them yourself. You're not constantly studying newer challenges and newer practices and other things. And when I got a chance to work in Africa, I decided, okay, I want to study further. So I went and I studied in Spain, and that gave me a little more edge over others, because I studied internationally. I managed to work into various environments, and I traveled a lot. Actually, I traveled 53 countries so far, and understand various cultures, experiences, people, and then you are able to understand nuances of working with people and how can you be successful in any environment. So it's important to go out of your comfort zone. It's important to take up newer challenges. Don't restrict yourself towards the location. Don't do job hopping also later, because initially when you go into the job, initially when you're going to join a particular within 4 or 5 years, if you change 6 7 jobs, your resume will go into trash. You need to be sustainable. You need to take the right decision. I'm not saying don't change the job. If the companies are not well, the culture is not right, you have all the right to change the job. But then you take the right decision before joining that company. You do your research before joining that company. Don't just look for a salary hike or something. Many of my colleagues, they took initially in their career, they took a 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, they got additional hike. They thought, let me just make a move because I want to earn this 20, 30,000 rupees extra. But believe me, after 10 years, 15 years, most of them become jobless. And then when you are becoming a CEO of the company, you are a director of the organization, you might lose crores every year. So you want to earn 10,000, 15,000 in the initial career of your job and make frequent job change, or you want to earn crores later in your life when you get into a very senior roles. So those kind of decisions, you need to take in your life in future. And maybe let's make this last 30 minutes more interactive, 15 minutes more interactive. I will take up some questions if you have, and maybe from my own experiences I'll share some of the insights. Anyone? Hindi, English, any language is okay. When I was talking, most of you were dozing, so I thought let me ask you questions. The chef gives you sleeping pills or in the lunch? Anyone? No questions? No question is bad. Okay, no question is not intelligent. Don't think about it. Yeah. In Kenya? Yes, yes, sure, sure. See, I'll tell you an interesting insights. So I was posted in Congo, and there were various challenges. Okay, Congo is a French-speaking country, and there are, and I was an English-speaking person. So it's very difficult to first of all communicate what you wanted to do it, and what they were expecting us to do it. And I was appointed there as a leader for a shorter period. So it was important for me to understand, and just one simple story, I used to have a support team member. So like in Indian, we have a lot of these habit of reminding somebody that tomorrow this work has to be done, don't forget it. And then it's very normal in India or something. So I used to do it, and I was also very young at that point of time. So I used to tell her that, okay, tomorrow this meeting, so I've already told you yesterday, prepare for the meeting notes or meeting presentation and everything. So once, she told me that I want to talk to you. So I said, what? That please don't remind me. I know how my job has to be done. So then it gave me a little bit perspective that, it's not always the way you operate in one culture is the right way to operate actually. When you go into a different culture, it's important to appreciate the way of their working also. Similarly, when you work with different team member, your existing working style may not be an appropriate working style for others. And yes, there were challenges actually, in that particular country where you need to have a guard to support you traveling from one place to other place. You need to have basically you need to have somebody in your car, you need to have the weapons to ensure that you are safe and everything. So there were challenges into these geographies, and with my current experiences, I took those challenges, and basically that helped me to shape up my future career, because I managed to get experience of different countries, different culture, and that only made me grow in my life. Similar to that, not out of India, but within India also, I've been appointed as a board of director of 2 government companies also. And it is again how you approach, how you make your space, how you conduct yourself into various forums and various stakeholders, and that can actually help you to open up careers into multiple professions also, and that help you to learn and experience newer challenges also, and you can become better and better. So these are some of the experiences. So basically, if you have a multicultural exposure, I would strongly recommend people who are young like you that you should travel as much as possible. Don't stick to one of the location of yours. It will create a humongous amount of positivity, energy, and experience in your future life. Anyone else? Yeah.
So you talked about leaders drive organizations. So how important is it for the team of your team that they should be equipped with the knowledge of every domain?
Yes, thank you for asking this question. It's a very important question that as a leader we want. Please have a seat. As a leader we want the right team structure, and we need to have people who have different strengths, and unique competencies and strength within themselves, so that you can thrive. And most organizations are trying to create a diverse culture, and one of the reason behind that is your question actually, because the diverse culture will give diverse views, okay, and diverse views will create diverse and unique products in the which is offered to the consumers. Like Sodexo globally, we have 56% women employees. Okay, in India we have more than 10,000 women employees working with the organization. We have huge number of specially able people working in the company. And I'll give you one example that if you want to attract specially able people to your company, how do you attract them? Because it's very difficult to attract a specially able person, and I'll give you 2-3 examples. Like anyone from Bombay here? Okay. So if you hire a specially able person from in Bombay kind of setup, most of them, they come from low socio-economic background. So they come from 20-25 kilometers far off, and to come to office at 9 o'clock in the morning in the compartment of a specially able compartment is also difficult. With an amputated leg, you cannot go into that compartment and reach office at 9 o'clock, because it is packed, even if it is a specially abled compartment. So you need to have a unique shift arrangement for specially able people. So the specially able people can come in my company, they can come at 8 o'clock in the morning, or they can come at 11 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning, which are not the peak hours. And then they can leave at 7 o'clock in the evening, or they can leave at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you give them a unique shift arrangement, then you will have these diverse people joining you, because you have the right infrastructure, you have the right policy framework. You want to employ trans people in your company, but there is a transphobia, homophobia is there. Okay, people get scared with them, 6 feet, 7 feet height, with a choti and looking like a man and everything. So it's very difficult to, and then people, when they talk to them, they scan up to top to bottom, even in a corporate world, in a right kind of world. Do you know the trans person finds it very difficult and odd to be in the men washroom, and they find it equally difficult in the women washroom. Women are not comfortable having a trans person in their washrooms. Do we need to have a separate washroom for trans person in your company? So if you are going to hire a trans person, your strategy, your infrastructure has to support those kind of diversities in the organization. if you want to hire women employees, yes, we all have maternity policies in the organization, 12 weeks and 12 weeks. But can you imagine a woman joining you back with a 3 months old baby at home? Who is going to take care of baby? The feeding is to be required every 2-3 hours. Yeah, there is a law which says that this leave has to be given, but the organization needs to go beyond the laws. Like in Sodexo, you can take 1 year leave, 2 years leave, 3 years leave, come after 3 years. Because yes, the Indian system is such that parents expect that the child has to be taken care, and the women cannot leave the child after the child is 3 years old. So whether the women has to leave the organizations, or the organizations have to create the ecosystem which supports them, and there the leadership of you are all future leader, where what kind of policies, processes you are going to make it, are going to create these women to stay in the organization. Because if your organization is going to be diverse, your products will be diverse. Assuming all the employees in the organizations are all men, you will not be understanding the nuances of consumers, because consumers are women, consumers are children, consumers are trans people, consumers are of various diverse background. So you need to have a diverse organization. And third thing is that how do you create the continuous learning culture in the company? So we have 2-3 things there to have the right kind of team framework. We have something called continuous education program, where your education is supported by the organization. Then there are various projects are there, and organization gives these projects to 4 or 5 people who can be a very young person for 1 or 2 year experience to a 10 years experience to a head of the department also, and 5-6 people, they work on one project or one problem, and then they solve the problem, they design the strategy, they design the product, and then so most organizations have now started to break the barriers of hierarchy. Most companies there is no sir culture actually in the organization. Like we don't have cabins in our company, because we don't want people to be confined in their cabins, and leaders not approachable. We don't want people to stand up when we come, because I'm not a principal of a college. It may happen in a college. So in the organization setup, respecting everyone, every individual, and their strengths are important. Yeah, in some formal setups, you need to have basically in army there is a command leadership is there. You need to there is somebody who has to command, who has to give. So then there is a different culture. But in most organizations, the culture they want to drive is a transformative culture. And transformative culture means everyone is equal. You might be senior and you might be paid a little more because of your expertise. Otherwise, everyone is same. And hence, the organization has various mechanisms and tools to create diverse culture, diverse people in the company. And then these diverse people, diverse culture, they thrive in the organization. And that's the way it is done. How much time do I have? If any can do the timekeeping. 10 minutes? 5-10 minutes. Any last 2 questions? Yeah, please. And I'll take you later.
Sir, Anjana this side. As you talked about swimming, what was your experience like? How did you feel when you represented India at a very young age?
Yeah, I think, see, any kind of sports, thank you very much, and please have a seat. Any kind of sports, I strongly advise, because I'm a sports enthusiast. Even I'll tell you, many of you may not be working out, or may not be taking care of your health. And some of you I've seen today's young people at 25 also, they've lost half of their hair also, and they're older than 45 or 50 years. It's not that losing hair is wrong, please don't misunderstand me. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to be fit. Representing India was amazing, because I was just 14, 12, and believe me, I had no idea in my mind that I'm doing some big cause of representing India and everything, being very frank with you. Yes, I went, it actually opened up my horizon, because at that age, I saw various cultures, I met people, and that shaped up my future, my confidence level and everything. And travel is always wonderful, which I like to do it. Even today also, in a year I travel almost 15 to 20 countries every year. So it does help you to do great. But again, coming back to the health also, most of the organizations are now focusing on health. So if you have a sports in your background from the beginning, you should continue till your age of 80, because most companies are looking and would look for healthier and a better employee base. And if you are disciplined, if you are healthy, if you are putting some effort in your health also, you smile more often, you are happy, you enjoy your company, you enjoy your friends and everything. People want to be your friends rather than people who do not have the right kind of discipline working and a good habit of keeping their health better. They remain more sadder, they are not happy, nobody wants to talk to them. So these things are there actually, and it's important that in your work life also and in your current life also as a student, you need to spend something to become better, and health is something which is crucial to at this juncture. At least see, there is a rule of 45. So if anything you do for 45 minutes, example, many of your classes are also 45 minutes. Why 45 minutes? Sorry, 1 hour or something. So 1 hour 45 minutes. So basically the rule is that if something you do every day for 45 minutes, whether yoga, whether exercise, walking, running, gymming, whatever, you excel into that particular thing. So you don't have to do entire day workout but just 30 to 45 minutes if you put on the exercise, it makes you a better professional. Because as a professional also, you need to be a leader who is a charismatic leader, who is a energized leader, who can motivate others, who can energize others. But if you yourself are very very saddened and you have a sedentary lifestyle, and you have issues, then there is a problem, and then it causes a lot of issues. Like we are working a lot on mental health in our company. So we have a app called EAP, Employee Assistance Program, and there is a lot of awareness and a lot of surge is happening in the mental health area, and young people like you are actually feeling depression. There's we have counselors across India and world also, who tell people about suicide and how to prevent suicide and depression and everything. And many of these elements are actually outcome of of a sedentary lifestyle, or not so great environment, or you're not healthy or keeping fit yourself. It causes a lot of other issues also beyond your own physical issues and other things. So being fit is very important in future. And yes, when you represent India, it always feel better. Yes, you had one question last.
Right, sir, I'm Atik Nagarwal. So as you mentioned, when you were in college, you met around 40 to 50 HR. So I would like to know how did you approach them?
Right. See, it is, I approached in a very traditional manner, because I'm talking about 20 years back. But there are better ways, please have a seat. But there are better ways in today's context to, to approach and to find the right kind of companies. And, there are AI tools which helps you to find the right kind of recruiters or stakeholders from the right kind of companies using LinkedIn as a, so just search a little bit of yourself, and if maybe if I get a chance, I'll probably share that AI tool. So basically there are, what I did at that point of time, because I tried, I could not afford to travel to Hyderabad at one point of time from Baroda, but I saved some money. I figured out that I have to. I spoke with my dad and then convinced him, and then went to BHEL. And my management school never expected me to go to Hyderabad and meet the HR person who was ready to explain me the culture they have set up in their organization. And I had no plans to go so far from Baroda on my own expenses, where to stay in hotel, all those kind of things were actually coming up in my mind. But when I went there, I met him, then they understood that this guy is just 21, 22 and has come to meet me there. So they arranged a guest house also there for me, and for 4 days they actually showed me the entire their factory, and I went to see various departments. So see, the advantage of experiential learning and a book based learning is completely different. the experiential learning has maybe 20 or 30 times higher memory retention as compared to, suppose I have spoken about this session, maybe you will remember 5% of what I have spoken about the session. But if you yourself has experienced, you have seen that, suppose you would have always remembered first time seeing Taj Mahal or maybe Qutub Minar or something, and that will remain in your memory for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, and even if you get older, you still remember in your childhood first time meeting your friend or somebody. So our brain is actually engineered in such a manner that we memorize experiential learning more in a better manner. And that's the reason I took this strategy of meeting people, because when I meet people, example, I've come to this campus, I will always remember this Saturday because I came to campus, I interacted with all of you or something, or maybe one of my learning somebody would have picked up, and you will always remember that somebody spoke that way. So experiential learning along with your curriculum learning is very, very key. And I reached out in a very traditional manner. I reached out to the right companies. I made a list of the organization which I want to visit and I want to talk to, and then I made them. In today's context, you can actually use some AI tools also and to get into to find those companies. And there are there are tools which are integrating with your LinkedIn also, and basically it filters out the recruiters who are looking for management graduates from these companies and look for it. I'll give you one very funny example. One of the person I was mentoring in 3 years back, that person was very average in study, and I could never imagine that he would crack to Amazon actually. Okay, so he just had this internship with Sodexo, and then but I found him very pragmatic and very practical towards his life. And yes, I told you all of us have our strengths. Actually, no, all of us may not be able to retain all the classroom lectures and everything, but yes, we have our own selective retention. So I just told, so he told me that I want to go and join Amazon, and then in their campuses, Amazon obviously picked up the best one, and he was not picked up. But he had that in mind that I want to join, and he kept on pursuing 45 minutes, 30 minutes to join Amazon as an organization. Finally, he made it. So what I told you, the power of 45 or power of, there's something called power of 3 also, you can read about it. So power of 45 is that anything what you want to achieve, if you just do for 45 minutes in a day, you are going to get it. Even if you are the worst of the class, you are best of the class. But your focus has to be very, very clear. I gave an example that you want to go to Mumbai, and if you don't have money, you start walking also, you will reach Mumbai maybe 5 days later, but you will reach. But sitting in this campus, you will be here only. So experiential learning is important. Taking some steps ahead is important in your life, and these are crucial steps towards your success. And yes, there is I'll tell you what is the situation, and this is an ending note of mine. So the situation right now is that India is exponentially growing. There are a lot of young professionals like you are going to challenge people like us or many of the mid management, because you are going to come with your fresh thoughts and fresh blood and fresh approach and everything. A lot of you will compete with each other in terms of getting the right jobs or getting the right startup of yours or whatever you are planning to do it. So there is certainly going to be a completely competitive race which is going to happen in future, and somebody who is going to be fully prepared for this race or fully fit for the race, or somebody who is at least giving 45 minutes of their life in daily to reach to the goal which you are trying to achieve, are the people who will be better off. And giving a simple example, if Usain Bolt doesn't practice for 15 days to 20 days, the number 2 of the fastest runner in the world will be the fastest and will win the Olympic medal. So the consistency in terms of your practicing, in terms of your goals is very, very crucial. Even if you are the world champion, you can be number 2. And last and the most important thing is, today is the world of photo finishing. What is photo finishing means? I was a swimmer, And between me and the last person, there were just 1 second and 1.5 seconds only between me and the last person. I could be last and I could be the winner. It's just 1.5 second distance. And that 1.5 second distance required me to practice for 6 hours a day into swimming, because then only I could get that 1.5 hours, 1.5 seconds. So that today in all of your world also, there are so many institutes are there. It's a matter of photo finish, and it's a matter of everyone practicing every day something which you are trying to achieve. And believe me, if you are in any campus, you may start up very slow in some company which may not be very renowned one. But if you have a focus in your mind, you're going to really make it bigger in your life in future. So just start it and ensure that you don't waste a single hour of your life henceforth. Thank you very much.
Jain sir, I have a question in my mind.
Okay.
Actually, I came across one Sodexo card, food card, right? So I just want to know, is it applicable globally or is it only for the national level?
Thank you. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
So we are into 3 businesses. One is the card business, other is the food, and third is the facility management. The card business which we have a global presence in that. And many of the countries we are leader, including India, we are into that business, which is one of the the Sodexo food and facility management has almost 50,000 plus people, and the card business has around 700 to 800 people. And we are also known as from B2C perspective, from a popularity perspective, the card business is very well known. But from a B2B perspective, our food business is something which is larger and more known among the people. So the card which we use is actually used in India only because it's governed by RBI, Reserve Bank of India, and it is applicable across India. But we have similar product in other countries, and now the card also has an element of tax benefits and other things also. So beyond the food card, even your other tax benefits also you can manage using the card. And basically we maintain the repository of spent done by you for petrol, for grocery, for other things. And if you are going to get some tax benefit for that, then that tax benefit gets easily extendable to the person. And that's the way the card product is probably popular. And yes, we are we have a leadership into that particular product. I hope I answered that. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Laptop I'll take it.
We extend our sincerest gratitude to you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights. I hope students have gained an abundance of knowledge with your words of wisdom. We shall look forward for your next visit to our campus. Thank you.